Hi, welcome to the Methods Podcast. Today's guest is Heather Holmes, who is the founder and CEO of Publicity For Good, a publicity firm that exclusively works with brands that have good social causes built into their purpose. Some quick facts about Heather. She was a nominee for Forbes 30 Under 30, and she's also a former Miss Ohio International. I know there are plenty more, but did you want to mention any other notable accomplishments, Heather?
Yeah, so um, if you look me up, you'll see that we were featured on Fox News, Inside Edition, Entrepreneur, really talking about living full-time in an Airstream for 3.5 years, having our first $1 million year during the pandemic, building a homestead, and now running a purpose-driven communications company that really works with purpose-driven brands. And then I'm a mom too.
Okay, wow. So congrats on your first $1 million year, especially during COVID. Could you maybe talk about, because I know you told me, but just for anybody who's wondering, how did you get into communications and publicity?
Sure. So when I was in my early 20s, at the time, I was working at an investment company, and the local news station was doing a story on boomerang kids. And boomerang kids essentially were kids that graduated from college and moved home because there were no jobs available in the job market. So I moved home and lived at home and worked at an investment company, and also was a wine tender at a wine bistro. And a news station did a whole story on that, came to my house, interviewed my mom and me. And I always had a passion for media. And at the time, I really thought I wanted to be an anchor, just to highlight positive news stories, people making a difference in the community. I did go to college for communications. I did an intensive at Georgetown studying conscious capitalism and how businesses can make a difference. So I always had a heart for that. And my dad and uncle were both entrepreneurs. And when they both passed away, being an entrepreneur, building a legacy was the only way I knew to honor them and feel more connected to them. I then started working at a communications agency doing public relations, fell in love with getting people in the media. I remember when I first started out, we would book at least 35 interviews a week. So when I saw that I was able to do that and book 35 interviews a week, I knew I was meant to do communications and PR. Did that for 3.5 years. I always dreamed, though, of paving my own way, making a difference, and having a family. And, I would go to these trade shows and I would imagine myself not being in, heels, and not being in a suit, and just being a little bit more approachable, a little less stuffy. And I always knew I wanted to have kids. So I've always dreamed of building something where I could work from my office at home and have the kids around. So June 15, 2015, quit my job, moved home to live with my mom. I got a minimum wage job at a gym, slowly built the agency, and still worked at the gym for 3 years. And I didn't stop working at the gym until we were probably at like 5,000 to 10,000 a month. When I started the company, it was Desantis Public Relations. And at the time, I had a client, and we were managing a press tour in LA, as well as San Diego. And I bought a one-way ticket because I didn't want to be stressed with a schedule. Well, I ended up staying in San Diego. Staying in San Diego was really, I think, what catapulted the career, because there's so many entrepreneurs there. Just provided a great networking opportunity. And then from there, we rebranded from Desantis Public Relations to Publicity For Good, because I didn't want it to be about me. It was more about the mission. And I didn't want the clients they were just going to work with Heather.
Yeah, and that's probably one of the more fulfilling parts of what you do, is that you're not doing it for you. You're getting these accomplishments, these interviews, and it's for somebody else. You're helping somebody else grow. And that's definitely, the core of your brand, Publicity For Good. You want to help other people. You want to help people who have good causes. Their purpose is socially, they also are helping others, like a network of helpfulness, I guess. So where do you think that came from? Where do you think you had that desire to be that resource of good.
Sure. So I always got people excited about different missions and giving back. At the time, I was a Girl Scout until I was 18, so I did sell the most amount of Girl Scout cookies, but I was always involved in nonprofits and got people excited. When I was in college, I ran a program called Girl Power for at-risk teen girls. I did nonprofit initiatives, and I just felt so fulfilled giving back, and then also getting people excited about joining a cause and giving back with their talents too.
Okay. Okay. So that's just been something you've nurtured throughout your career in your life.
Right, but I shifted from volunteering with my time to then volunteering. Like before, my megaphone was like time. Now my megaphone is impact and awareness. So instead of volunteering at a soup kitchen and reaching 10 people, I can reach hundreds and thousands, millions of people by working with purpose-driven brands or nonprofits and getting them in the media. So
Okay.
that's my shift.
Okay. I see. I see. So kind of flipping the switch. How did you, what obstacles did you face in the early years of your profession? Like how did you overcome those obstacles, and what critical decisions or experience did you have to make that led you to your path of success?
So definitely finding the right clients, not bring on every client. That was the first thing. The second thing really was, I mean, when I first started the business and then I moved to San Diego, I believed in my business so much that I over invested and I didn't take a salary, and clients would be late on paying, and I still invested because I believed in it so much. But times got tough for a bit. To even get my apartment in San Diego, I had to essentially pay 3 months rent ahead of time. And then I had no money. Like my account was like in the red. And there was like a season of 2 months where essentially to eat, I ate rice and beans and Uber Eats, and that was really it. The why is because clients were late on paying, or I over invested in my business because I believed in it so much. Where now I have a plan, I have a decision-making process, clients don't pay, work is not done, and I follow and lean into more of the policy and the guidelines, where before I would just do what I felt was right. Well, I want to help them, but I'm not eating, or I'm giving my time to someone who's not paying me, where we do have a client that is doing the right thing and paying on time. Like you know what I mean? Like you have to have lines and barriers and rules that you follow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. That's wow, that's amazing. And congratulations on getting through that. I know that is definitely a rough period of your life. How did you manage to get your first client? What was like the process for that?
So I just reached out to someone and said, I love what you're doing. This is what I've done in the past. This is how I know we can help you. Are you interested? And then from there, referrals, people seeing our work on social media, and now more focused on different outbound strategic strategies as well.
Okay. Okay. Well, that's great. So for your method, if you had to define your method, what would that be?
So
And
yeah,
sorry, when I say method, I mean method to success. I apologize.
yeah. So I think it definitely comes down to vision, manifestation, faith. Like I pray a lot, like I love Jesus, and it's like I do the work, I do the gritty work that's expected of me. I spend a lot of time in manifestation, in visualizing it, and I pray a lot too. And I
Yeah.
don't you can I think for me it's the mixture of the doing the work and planting the seeds daily, and knowing that it's a compound interest thing. Like it sucks because sometimes you show up every single day, you do the same thing and you're not getting results, and it sucks.
Yeah.
You don't stop. Or you get that win and it's so easy to not it to lose sight on the work you need to do. So really it's the mixture of the work, the faith, and the manifestation all together.
Yeah, I understand those ruts where you just are doing work, and you're not really sure even why you're doing so much. Those are probably the most difficult times when you're working really hard and you don't have a set direction. You have your end goal, but you don't even know how to bridge the gap. Do you ever have moments like that where you're just like, I feel like I'm doing something and I think I'm doing something right, but it might not be, you're just unsure.
All the time. Still,
Yeah,
all the time.
yeah. So where do you find that direction?
We have a plan that we're
Okay,
following, and we're just following the plan.
okay, okay. So every successful person seems to have a certain strategy or method that distinguishes them from the competition. And you describe yours as your faith, your plan, and somewhat of your family or tribe. So what are some fundamental mentalities or principles that you've followed that have guided you to success, and how have they changed over time?
Sure. I'm very metrics driven, so I have a scoreboard, and that scoreboard is what I focus on. So I know when to stop or I need to keep going, because otherwise I used to literally work every hour of the day. But you fill your time with what you have. So if you only have your business, like it's easy to just do it. If you don't have kids and you don't have a husband or wife, it's easy to work all the time. But how efficient are you being, right? Um, so it's definitely metrics focused
Okay,
and
so
kind of lean into the data more than feelings, which has been hard, but making decisions around data versus feelings.
okay, okay, and you're always making those decisions. And it sounds like you like to have a big emphasis on your family. And you shared that with me that your vision has always been to build that entrepreneurial life where you have the freedom to not only work in a space where you can be with your family, but even separating a bit of, that work for the family time. So why is that important to you, and how do you really practice that now?
Yeah, so I mean, it's important to me because, like I said, my dad and uncle were very successful entrepreneurs. My dad died when I was 16, and I think he always thought that he'd have more time, right? Or he could be more of a family guy when he was done with work or got to that level of success. He was present, but not as present probably as he could have been because it was so work focused. So I think that's a part of it. Um, And for me, it's all like holistic. So like when I go on business trips, like I want my family to go. And I don't think you can separate work and family. I really think it's all like one,
Okay.
feed into each other.
Okay, so it's you have your family involved, you like for them to go with you when you have to go on trips. Would you say inside of your business you treat it as a family? Would you say that's your setup, or is it more very position focused and everybody has a job, or what is it like inside your business?
So I would say we're very like our team members are like family members, but everyone is very focused on their role. But from the family side, I would say we run our family like a business, and that like we're developing our family mission statement and our tenets and our rules, and we're having conversations around we're like, what are we gonna do? Are we
Okay.
gonna give every kid a birthday every year, a birthday party? Like, I don't necessarily think that's necessary. Like, what, you know what I mean? Like, what are our rites of passage? Like, what does that look like? So I would say we run our family like a business, in that we're developing our family mission statement and our tenets. And we have family planning on Sunday and all those things. And the kids will get exposed to that. They'll literally get to bring their planners and talk about their week and everything, too.
Yeah. You're providing your family and your kids with a sense of direction in doing that.
Yeah.
And it's really good to build those habits, and especially like in kids early on. I think getting those habits down early as opposed to people that grow up without necessarily parental guidance or any guidance necessarily, and then they don't really, they're in a position where, like we said earlier, you need to work and you can't find that direction, then things get a lot more difficult. Um, with and you said you love to pray and that Jesus has played a part in your career. So how would you say you've ever found direction in that, in faith?
Oh, for sure. Like every single day, like so much. And I don't think if it was for the kids or Jesus or any of that, like having something bigger than myself and also truly feeling like I am really good at PR and it's the gift that I have. And I can't squander the gift that I have because at the end of the day, it's not about me. And I have to remind myself, sometimes it's hard, but I realize that I have this skill that I'm really good at and it's making an impact in businesses. People are increasing their revenue and sales, or they're able to reach their people with their message. So because I have this skill, I do feel like it's my responsibility to use the skill set that I was given.
Okay. Okay. And you're would it be appropriate to describe your role in somebody's business as just bridging the gap between where they are right now and where they want to be?
Yeah, and it's increasing their brand awareness, it's increasing their credibility, it's allowing people to tell their story on why they're an entrepreneur, to then promote their services and or story. It's adding a sense of humanness to your story, and it's allowing people to reach new audiences. So imagine going on your local TV show that has 1 million people a day watch that show. In a 3-minute segment, you're able to reach 1 million people. Well, it takes forever to build an audience on Instagram, and it's credibility. We see clients essentially who are bringing in sales. They're using their publicity and their marketing on their funnel, and they're able to close deals and get more business because it's the credibility piece as well.
Okay. Okay. So mentorship, a crucial component of both personal and professional development is learning from others. Has your journey been influenced by any mentors or role models? What insights did you get from them, and how do you still look for motivation or education and coaching today?
Yeah, so I had a business coach for a really long time, and that helped. I'd say the biggest thing that comes to having mentors is that the mentor needs to be ahead of you, I think financially, spiritually, and ahead of you on the journey. And I think how their lifestyle is important, meaning that I'm a Christian, I want a bunch of kids. So having a mentor for me who's a mom who has kids, who values family, who's further ahead than me financially, that matters more. That matters more, that it's someone that has kids and understands all those components versus someone who's running a $1 billion company and they don't have kids, because
Yeah.
it's different. So finding a mentor that is living the life you want is really important holistically. Are they single? Are they traveling? Like that is so important.
Yeah, they'll be able to help you a lot more if they can understand what you're going through on a personal level, as in they literally are going through similar things.
Yeah.
Do you have any examples of mentors that you had initially?
I would say mentors would just be business coaches, and where I am now, I don't really have any external mentors, but I typically have like my top 4 people that I watch their content, I read their content, and I watch them on Instagram every day. So I think that's another great way to get inspiration for who you want to become.
Okay. Okay, that's great. And you've built your business, you've seen success. Where do you want to go? Who do you want to become from this point?
Yeah, so we are a top purpose-driven communications company. We're $100 million plus company. Like we're one of the top purpose-driven communications agencies. On a personal level, at least 7 to 8 kids, really having hundreds of acres. So, it's multi-generational, right? Like everyone can live there if they want to. Being able to travel, we've traveled a lot. We love Bali, so being able to travel as a family would be great as well.
Yeah, and you said you love manifestation as well. Is a lot of that, would you attribute a decent amount of your progress to that manifestation? Would you, I'm sure it's something you still do today, and it's
Yeah.
something you've practiced.
Definitely prayer. I would say becoming fixated on the key things that we want, but then also like we have a vision board in our Airstream and we're getting ready to update our vision board now. So say yes, all those components.
Yeah, I know about vision boards. I've had to hear a lot about those before. My my coach, I would say, has been trying to get me to do one recently, but I'm not very into them. What's your process for those? How do you make your vision boards?
Yeah, really. We just put on some music, get some wine, get a stack of magazines, and just put out the images that we like or we want to be or any of those things.
Okay, and do you do that as a team, as a family? How do
As
you?
a family.
Okay. So you've done it with your husband,
Yeah.
and how does he react to that?
Love it. We love it. He brought home more magazines so we can update our vision board at the house. So
That's funny. That's
yeah.
funny. And okay, so I wanted to mention this. You said you had a event next week. Do you want to talk about that real quick?
I would love to. So we have Elevate 2023 Elite Communication Strategy event. This event will equip business owners with a communications plan, teach you how to use AI, teach you the power of media relations. It's in person in North Carolina. So if you're wanting to travel and just enjoy the amazing Blue Ridge Mountains, perfect time. Or you can come virtually, but it's October 12th and 13th.
Okay, great. And I'll link that in the Instagram description, and
Perfect.
hopefully some people are interested. And
Yeah.
yeah. All right. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for recording this episode. This was the Methods Podcast, and our guest was Heather Holmes. And tune in for the next episode. We're just going to keep going.